Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another beautiful video. The other day, I got a comment. The comment that I received was asking how a pair of boots that I made a video on over a year ago is doing. And to answer simply, I don't know. The fact that I don't know isn't because I lost them, or they got destroyed, or I'm unable to compare them to the original boot. The reason is because I sold them. Truthfully, almost any piece of clothing that you saw in my wardrobe a year ago is now gone and replaced with something else.
And we don't like federal agents.
I have 7 tattoos, and now each of these tattoos is its own unique design. They will never leave my body. As I grow older, as my skin changes, my hair grows, and eventually I lose it, everything will change, but the tattoos will stay. Unlike my wardrobe, the design and style I chose is permanent. And even though that sounds scary, to me it's almost reassuring that there will be something there. What is permanent for us though? In my case, it's about 72 years, which in perspective to anything is pretty trivial. Immortality has been something that the human race has sought for ages, and stories of it go back so far in our history. Herodotus is a 5th century BC writer. Now what's special is him is he was the first one to really solidify the idea of the fountain of youth. A place where if you bathe or drink from it, you will get younger, and theoretically, you could live forever. Even though this fountain doesn't exist, and our medicine is not yet at the point where we could live forever, one thing does live on, and it is the art and stories that come with the fountain of youth. Passed down from generation to generation, these stories live on. And if it's important enough, it will last forever. That begs the question, should clothing last forever? This is a concept that has been brought up a surprising amount of times. Raf Simons is a Belgian designer who needs no introduction. He has had an amazing career of selling his clothes, and a lot of people have made a lot of money from selling his older stuff. One of the most infamous shows of his is the Fall-Winter 2002 show, Virginia Creeper. Now what's special about this isn't the themes or anything, which do tie in to nature being evil. It's more the concept of what was done to the clothing. Each piece of clothing had an acid treatment to it. Thus, it sped up the aging effect. And 20 years later, it's really hard to find a piece of this collection in good condition. It's all worn down, falling apart, or greatly discolored. Despite being an immortal show in the minds of us obsessed with fashion, and will probably go on to inspire so many future shows, the original clothing from it, within the next 5-10 years, will be gone. Recently, where I live, it snowed. And it's been a good 5 years since I've experienced this beautiful, destructive white powder. Snow has only often come under very certain circumstances throughout the course of history. And those circumstances bring out the question of mortality with humans. The cold has taken so many lives and so many other things throughout history. Yet what ended up taking something from me was what came with the snow, the salt. In this case, the clothing, or even more niche in my case, the boot, might have been made to last forever and achieve immortality. Yet, a force of nature, or humankind, ended up shortening that lifespan. A more interesting take on this is if a designer uses a material that he or she doesn't know will actually bring down that longevity of the clothing and shorten lifespan. Carol Christian Powell is a designer that I've talked about far too many times on this channel, and I will continue to talk about him. Something very important within his designs is the construction and effort that goes into it. It's immaculate, and it's something that you think would last forever. Within his designs, he uses seam tape, and seam tape is an adhesive that does not need extra stitches to stick something together. Yet, the downside of this is over time, it will wear out. And with the very jacket I'm wearing right now, it is starting to fall apart and deteriorate. Throughout my own course of wearing this jacket, I can watch as it no longer becomes immortal. Have you seen this image? Maybe some of you have while learning about the Mexican-American War of the late 1890s. Yet what is interesting is the fact that he is wearing one of the very first t-shirts ever made. And it looks awfully familiar to one that you would be wearing right now, or is maybe even laying on the floor of your room. Now, have you seen this image? Neither had I, until I started doing research for this video. It is the original artwork for the Fountain of Youth that I mentioned before. As I stated, it lives on in our minds as a new rendering of what we think it would be, or a new creation. Even if you've never seen this original image, you have heard of it. Just as that white t-shirt looks so familiar, yet it truly no longer exists. It's been lost to time. You will not be here to see the end of our planet, and neither will I. Yet something that will be the art and stories that go with that art, of which you have a great chance to create in your lifetime. Fashion isn't immortal, yet these stories and ideas that it creates are. To finish this video, I would like to bring attention to my own channel. I have many videos on it, some I'm more proud of than others, yet I still leave them all up because I truly don't know when I'm talking about a piece of clothing and I show it, if that's the last time it will be there. If I take this video down, will it no longer exist? So I preserve the ideas. In my first YouTube video, there is only one piece of clothing that I show off that I still have. And this shirt isn't special in any way or a masterpiece of its time, but maybe, just maybe, talking about it now will bring enough significance to that shirt that it can last forever. Way after it's unwearable, the idea of it can become immortal. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and have an amazing day.